everyone. Welcome back. 10 minutes with Barb and Ron. Moving into our fourth episode, I think. So just glad to be here and just having a lot of fun with my UDL colleague here. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Hello, I'm Ron Rogers with OCALI. And Barb and I have way too much fun doing these, and we really appreciate the fact that you all join us and everything. And just a little bit about ourselves. Do you want to give them just a kind of a brief one, Barb, and then I will?
Yeah, so I just finishing up my 7th year at State Support Team in Ohio, supporting school districts around all of my loves. My love of UDL, my love of positive behavior supports, my love of special education. And I just finished my 37th year.
Oh, man. And I'm over 30 years also with OCALI, not going anywhere. At least I hope I'm not going anywhere. They haven't told me that I'm going anywhere. I'm going to just stay at OCALI until I notice that, everything's disappeared and they probably, But anyway, yes, and I'm loving every bit. Like you, I love Universal Design for Learning. And I just love people and relationships and all those good things. So, with that said, please subscribe to 10 Minutes with Barb and Ron when you have a chance. The subscribe button's right there. Just hit it and subscribe. Right now we have over 200 views, and we just started these, Barb, as you know, and we've been trying to crank out one per week. This is, like you said, this is number 4. We have 45 subscribers. You believe that?
We're getting there. Hey, that's so good for the ego, isn't it, Ron?
Oh, man,
we're putting ourselves out here. We're being silly. We're having fun.
We are.
Love it when people subscribe and watch.
And I was looking real close at that, and I think 42 of them are family members.
Well, we have to hold something over their head.
No, that's not true. It's a mixture of people and maybe a few family members, though.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, our topic today is they loved what we did the last time so much that we're going to continue that one this time. And do you want to go ahead and introduce the continuation topic?
Oh, okay, great. Thought bubbles. So last time we talked about thought bubbles. And we talked about those are the thinking that we put in place before we design instruction. And what do you always thought? What did you think it was, Ron?
Well, I thought it was those things that I think about and then say, which people tell me, no, that's a thought bubble, Ron. You keep it to yourself. So yeah.
So we're spinning thought bubbles a little bit. I shared one of mine that talking about high expectations and how we're invested in kids. And so I wonder what you would make into a thought bubble if you were to create one.
Okay, well, you know what? I've got it. I would do environment. I would think about Universal Design for Learning, and I would think about environment. What do I have to do to prepare the environment for our students? Or what would I do to prepare our staff for a staff meeting? Or just, what would I do to make sure everybody feels included and safe and everything? So to do that, this is the COVID-19 environment days. So probably the meetings are going to be virtual. So I would have to rethink that environment completely. So I would think about, do students have an environment that's safe? When they get on, will they want to turn on their camera? Will they want to have their volume up, depending on what they might catch, in the background? Do they have earbuds, maybe, and a microphone? What makes it nice for them, as far as, and then if I'm, am I giving them enough, am I doing enough for engagement? Am I doing enough for representation? I'm going to let you throw some thoughts in there, Barb.
Yeah, no, I love those that you threw in there because you are always such a big relationship person. And that is one of the things I worry about the most for our learners in a remote situation is, last year when we did this, it was teachers had, until March to develop relationships with their students. And if we start in the fall with new teachers, they won't have that background. And so I just want to keep expanding on that relationship piece because that is going to be so crucial. And so, how do we do that? Do we have some just fun little Zoom meetings where we're just getting to know you kind of thing and, just talking about the environment around you, like the teacher might talk about how their situation is set up and some of the things that they have to think about before getting ready for an online session. Things like having the materials right around me so that I can, get them quickly. So I do think it's a different way of thinking about environment. I always used to think about environment as being one of the easier things to start with if you're unsure where to start with UDL, because you can do things like thinking about, how am I making my environment safe? Like you said, maybe there's a place where folks can go and just chill for a minute, whether you're a child or you're an adult, and you just need to take a little break and step aside and get in a more comfortable chair. Or it could be as simple as having a cup of pencils out that anybody can get whenever they need them. Adults too. Like, I always laugh at the adults who come to PD sessions and they don't have a writing utensil, and I wonder what would happen if you did that, if one of your students did that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We're going to be ready. So it is different. The environment is different because you can't do that for kids. You're not there to help set that up for them. And so I also think, how are we engaging the families and talking with them about what should the environment around this learning look like now? So those are my thoughts right now.
Oh, wow. Those are great thoughts. And when you first started to say, it's like, yeah, these are new kids. I may never have met them before. So, I'm thinking from an elementary perspective here, okay, not high school or middle, but if it were me, I'd really consider probably making a meeting time. I'd be in my car and have the child and their parent come out, and I pull in the drive. We stay, distanced, but we greet each other and say hi. I'll be your teacher. You'll be my student, just to break that ice before the virtual pieces, maybe. 29 students, I think I could do that with. If I was a high school teacher or a middle school teacher, I don't know that I could do it like that. That maybe the building would have it in such a way that everybody would take a certain amount of students and do something like that. I don't know. It's just that relationship piece. How do you do it? How do you get it ready to make sure you're successful?
Right. That's a great idea. Doing a drive-by, hitting the road. I heard a lot of teachers talk in the spring about how they went at the end of the school year to take a little certificate or to take kids' things back, and just how joyous that was when they could see them again in person. So, hopefully that we'll be able to have maybe a blended approach where we'll have a little bit of both. So we can think about the environment if it's going to be remote, and then we can think about the environment. Obviously, if we come back into schools, we have to think about all kinds of new things in the environment, the space between kids, I think about things like beanbag chairs and all those other flexible seating arrangements that we never give a thought to. But now if we have to sterilize and clean on a regular basis, do we have enough durable, flexible seating for kids to be comfortable in? So all kinds of new things to think about.
So true. So true. We've got a little bit over a minute and a half, Barb. So, how about, would you like to summarize, and then maybe I'll give a little summary, and we'll both be out.
Yes, our famous out. Well, I guess the summary is we have to keep an open mind in thinking about the environment flexibly, because in the reality, I think we'll have an environment that's virtual. We'll have an environment that may be in person, but very different than we're used to. And so we have to put our UDL caps on and just think flexibly.
Oh, wow. Whenever I have you do the summary first, it's like, what is there left for me to even say?
You can always come up with something.
Jiminy. Yeah. It's just, environment is so important. I would say any pre-planning you do, don't forget the environment. Take the kids into consideration and yourself. And be ready. Just be ready. Proactivity, proactive planning. So I do have to say something about the deer in the background. I really like it. It really looks cool. So, and the cars have been going by too, Barb, whether you've noticed or not. And,
I did notice a loud one go by. You just never know what you're going to get when you're listening to 10 Minutes with Barb and Ron.
And the birds in the background, and nobody's walked behind me yet, so I'm feeling pretty darn lucky, Yeah, I think there's like a shower room right off to the side, so I was kind of hoping no family members went by in the background, and so far we've been pretty lucky. So. Oh,
that's good. Now, Ron, you should pre-plan and make sure they know you're taping.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. I should do that probably, but we could always edit it. So you know what? I'm going to ask people to please subscribe and to like whatever you watch, and just be kind to Barb and I.
That's right. We're just out there.
Hey, you said out, so I'm out.
I'm out. See you next time.
YouTube, please subscribe. Like, comment, and share.